17 members and associates of the Hells Angels are facing criminal charges in a violent attack.
Federal agents allege the outlaws sold drugs, traded firearms, and engaged in insurance fraud and even tampered with government witnesses.
We have learned there is cell phone video as well as surveillance video of evidence in this attack.
The U.S. Attorney characterized today's raids as historic, the largest federal bust on organized criminal gang activity.
Retaliation is common for crimes involving biker gangs. However, it could happen anywhere because of how interconnected gangs have become nationwide.
The 3-year investigation resulted in 42 federal indictments on a variety of charges, including racketeering, money laundering, drugs, gambling, insurance fraud, and extortion.
There's a bunch of bikers up here, and they're shooting guns and stuff. I need the police now.
But on foot going towards 2nd Street. Okay, receive.
Welcome to this episode of Biker Wars with Bill Staxx. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. We've got a lot of things to go over. Rob, how you doing? Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Put the bell on all so you get all my videos. Got tons of content. There's new content on the way. I interviewed Loco from former Bandito. Told me some wild stories, and I can't wait to release that one. I got a bunch. John Palermo, his father was one of the captains in the Chicago outfit. I got Brian O'Day, former marijuana smuggler. You don't want to miss these interviews. Chaos, what's going on? I interviewed Breeze. Go check out Breeze's new channel, Expansive Human. He's showing you his journey on getting his tattoos removed off his face and his hands. So go check out that. I got a new interview dropping with him. There's a lot of great content on the way. You guys will not be disappointed when you check it out. So today, we are talking about Freddy Augello. I think you say it. That's how you say it. Augello? So Freddy Augello was a former leader of the Pagans motorcycle club, and he got caught up in some drama. He was allegedly, he was convicted, so I don't know if it's alleged, but he was convicted of murdering a radio host, and supposedly he got hired by the husband to kill the wife, and he went to a my bad, I glitched out on him real quick. Things happen, but so we got a lot of great content on the way. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're going to get into this video. So he says that the Pagans were not involved. That's what he's claiming, that they had no part in any of this. And we're going to read this story for you guys. So I got a picture of the guy who allegedly hired this guy. Let me show you guys that. So this is the alleged guy who hired this guy Freddy to kill his wife, and the woman on the left is the woman who passed away. Pretty insane story. So now this guy Freddy is talking from prison. So We're going to find out exactly what he's got to say. I'm going to play you guys the video. And so I got a picture of him when he was the leader of the Pagans MC. Let me show you guys a picture of this guy. So this is him when he had his cut on. The other guy on the right, I recognize him from somewhere too. I think he was in a documentary or something like that. But yeah, this is the guy right here. So it says, woman is convinced stepfather asked pagan biker group to kill her mother. Popular Jersey Shore radio host. The phone rang at 8:30 a.m. the way it did every day at the tiny home in an upscale Linwood, New Jersey. But on this day, May 10th, 2012, the ringing went unanswered. April Huffman, the blonde socialite, was home but didn't pick up. Soon after, a call was made, this time to 911. I'm at my boss's house, said Kauffman's handyman. She's lying on the floor on her bedroom and she's not answering me. It didn't take long for the police to descend on the Woodstock home drive. The home on Woodstock Drive. This article is full of mispronunciations. Then came the media. There was a popular radio talk show host known as a woman about town. She was dead, and it was not from natural causes. A few miles away, Kim Pack, Huffman's daughter from her first marriage, heard her own phone ringing. She answered it and heard the news. The race to Woodstock Drive. There, the cops stopped her from going inside. Pack was told this was a crime scene and that an investigation believed her mother was the victim of potential homicide. Well, Pack told the cops almost instantly, you can go right over there because that's the person that killed my mom. Without the slightest doubt, Pack told detectives the man responsible for her mother's death was her stepfather, Dr. James Kauffman, himself a prominent local citizen. It would take 5 years, but eventually Pack's suspicions turned into an arrest of James Kauffman on charges that he orchestrated the murder of his wife, Kim Pack's mother, a prominent member of the community, shot dead in her own bed in her home in an otherwise, I won't say crime-free community, but a low crime area, said the prosecutor who brought charges against James Kauffman. It was necessary to solve this case. If we couldn't solve this one, then the public wouldn't perhaps lack of confidence that we could solve any homicide. Peck was still in high school when she said her mother met James Kauffman in the Atlantic City area. The couple dated for about a year and then they married. She did struggle in love because maybe she was looking for the wrong things, Peck said in an emotional, in-depth interview. I think that she deserved love. I was hoping Jim Huffman would make her happy. At first, it seemed like Jim Kauffman was a good fit for the fun-loving April. They both rode motorcycles. He also claimed to be a decorated Green Beret. and Vietnam War veteran, which led April Kauffman to take up a cause for veterans. James Kauffman had military tattoos, medals, and proudly told of the way he survived a Viet Cong ambush. To outsiders, they were a couple to be envied, but there was terrible secret lurking. Peck said eventually her mother learned that her husband was a fraud. His valor was stolen. His military tales he made up. He was not a Green Beret. He never saw a second of combat and never served in the military. She was crushed. She was crushed for so many reasons. To think she felt duped. As she always did, April Kauffman confided in her daughter, who was her best friend. It even appeared at times to be her twin. That was the point where she was like, I need out. I'm done, Peck said. But escaping James Kauffman wouldn't be easy. She said to me, hold on, I'm making sure it don't glitch again. She said to me that she threatened him and said, I'm done. I want out. If you don't give me a divorce, I'm going to tell everybody that you're a liar. And he said, if you tell anybody, I'm going to go nuclear on Kimberly and the children. I looked at her and said, what? What does that mean? Kimberly says her mother responded with, don't worry. He doesn't have the balls to do anything. When April Kauffman died, Tanner was practicing attorney. He says that there was prevailing feeling that we were, as a community, we were waiting for answers. And we believed at the time that they would be forthcoming, that they would be immediate. But as time passed on, there was really no answers. And it kind of just faded into the abyss. The case seemed to grow cold. Jim Huffman would reconnect with an old flame and remarry 15 months after April's death. He appeared to return to normal life, go to work, travel, just like he had before she passed away. Within weeks after April Kauffman's death, Peck and her stepfather met at a local restaurant. He says to me, let me tell you something. I have a very good attorney, and I've been advised not to speak to anybody about this, Peck recalled. He's like, you might need to really start to realize that this is never going to be solved. I said, well, I'm not going to realize that because I will never stop finding out. I walked away and never spoke to him again. But a year after her mother's death, Peck said Jim Kauffman began auctioning some of her mother's possessions. Then she said he filed papers to collect on April's life insurance policy. It was then that Peck started to fight, stop the insurance company from paying out to her stepfather for a death that she believed he caused. Peck sued her stepfather for wrongful death of his wife, her mother April. Propelled by anger and the need for justice, Peck and her lawyer said that they were unwilling to give up. Once the battle started, for years, they felt they were alone in the fight. Peck says that when she met with Jim McLean, who had been appointed county prosecutor less than 2 months after April died, he said little about the case, other than that it was active, making her question the efforts being put towards the investigation by authorities. Through a spokesman, McLean denied the comment. But then last year, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie moved McCain to a state judgeship and appointed Tanner, a local guy whose father had been a well-known firefighter and police officer, becoming the new Atlantic County prosecutor. Troubled by the unusually high number of unsolved homicides in his jurisdiction, Tanner ordered top to bottom renewed on cold cases. April Kauffman's death was listed at the top of the cases that his staff felt could be easily solved. Detectives and prosecutors went to court for an order to take Jim Kauffman's DNA. At the same time, a separate case dealing with a medical fraud was circulating around the country. When James Kauffman's name popped up in that case, authorities went to his office with a search warrant. Worried he would be arrested, James Kauffman pulled out a Ruger 9mm and threatened to off himself in full view of police body cameras. After a standoff, he was handcuffed and jailed on weapons charges. He just said, "I've always said I'm not going to be arrested for this." He took his means to murdering April. And now I have the mugshot of when he got arrested. Let me show you guys that. This is an insane story. And the crazier thing is it's all true. So this is when he got arrested. 7 months later, Tanner announced that James Kauffman is being charged with first-degree murder, first-degree racketeering, after being accused of soliciting a hit on April Kauffman in a murder-for-hire plot. He went from very confident, cocky person that didn't believe he would be charged with anything, Tanner said, to now understand that the charges were real. They were really closing the gap, and understood the full breadth of the activity that led to April's homicide. Prosecutors claimed that he and a man named Freddy Augello, a member of the biker group known as the Pagans Motorcycle Club, had set up an illegal distribution network of OxyContin. And James Kauffman wanted his wife killed after she threatened to divorce him, to expose the alleged fraudulent drug network. When I heard the details of everything, I really was unbelievable, Peck said. Almost like, this is my life, and I feel like it's the worst made TV movie on the planet. And if you were to tell anybody this is your life, they wouldn't believe it. Augello was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit racketeering. Authorities said they postponed a number of propositioned a number of individuals to murder April Kauffman, all whom were members of the same pagan motorcycle group. Prosecutors said a man named Francis Mulholland was one who killed April Kauffman, shooting her twice and receiving $20,000 in cash for exchange. Mulholland died of an overdose a year after the homicide. Augello pleaded not guilty to charges. He was awaiting trial at the time. Now, I have a video because they tried to say that the Pagans Motorcycle Club was involved with this whole situation. But he did an interview from prison, and we're going to take a look at it. So,
biggie though. It's built upon a bunch of lies. The number one lie is that this has something to do with the pagans. It doesn't. Because if you guys been following this local stuff, this opioid stuff, they're busting like half a dozen or a dozen more cops. They're busting firemen. Are they going to turn, these people knew each other. That was it. There's no money. like even in this diatribe thing, it says that nonsense to Judge wrote that they were making money for the Pagans Motorcycle Club. There's nobody making money for the Pagans Motorcycle Club. These guys were going and getting, they were eating the prescription. This is a big deal. The only people that weren't eating all their medication was Glick.
And there is a big thing where people are on Facebook trying to get him out of prison. They're saying that he had nothing to do with this, and he's asserting that he's an innocent man. So I just want to say that zigzag shout out to you, Free Freddy. I think one of his family members is out there like speaking for him. They run a Facebook page and stuff.
Glick, he admitted to being a drug dealer, and that's a big mistake that Mary made. She spent 2 days taking Glick's a drug dealer, but then Levy got up there and said, yeah, he's a drug dealer, but this guy got him to do it. But that's the other thing, like I said, that the Pagans have nothing to do with it. It's just four guys in this that knew each other. It'd be like if they were all on a soccer team together or something. And I know it sounds silly and all, but it's true. Like when they, with this cream thing, when they yanked up all these firemen and stuff, are they going to say, oh, it's a drug ring by the firemen? Are they going to braid their hats in there? I mean, why would they be braiding my colors? I think that's another reason they hit my house like that, so they could take my things and use them as some kind of creepy evidence. The Pagans have nothing to do with this. And this,
you see, they will do anything to make these motorcycle clubs be involved with some negative publicity. He's saying it right there. They have absolutely nothing to do with this. It wasn't a conspiracy, but obviously the police don't think that he's telling the truth.
This is like the thing that I'm trying to drive home here. And for real, even their informants, Glick, Mahan,
oh yeah, that's right, Glick. That guy was an informant on this case. That's why I recognize him. The guy in the picture. I believe that's him, right? So they paid the informants a substantial amount of money, but we'll get into that after this video.
Mahan was in the Pagan Sealer. Even Wittenweiler, he's dead now. When they all say the same thing. This had nothing to do with the Pagan Motorcycle Club. It's used as a boogeyman to turn this into a Sons of Anarchy meet the Mafia.
And I believe that. I believe that they use that as, oh, they were involved somehow. But obviously, he says it. They weren't involved. They had nothing to do with this. So this guy was selling drugs. And so it says, defense questioned payments to Pagan turned informant in Kauffman case. A key witness in the case against Freddy Augello had been paid about $2,000 a month by the state, according to information released in court. Augello, who was going to trial for the murder and racketeering in the 2012 killing of radio host April Kauffman, and for an opioid ring he allegedly led with the now dead husband. Dr. James Kauffman. Dr. Kauffman allegedly partnered with alleged Pagan Motorcycle Club leader Augello in the scheme, and he had the group selling Oxycontins for the doctor. He wrote scripts for. What helped finally break the case open was the cooperation of Andrew Glick, a former Pagan who used what he allegedly knew about Kauffman-Pagan partnership to get himself out of trouble. After he was arrested in a November case on weapons possessions and drug charges, Glick had 7 or 8 guns, including one in an Egg Harbor Township shed, where he also allegedly had methamphetamine and cocaine. According to testimony given by the prosecutor's office, the detective said Augello's attorney said that he was given a discovery pertaining to Glick's arrest. That's insane. And he was paid all this crazy money. The snitch, that's the nicest word Andrew Glick, former Pagan club mates, have to say about him. Egg Harbor Township man outed himself as a key witness in the state's April Huffman case in an interview with Toronto Star published, but it's not news to the Pagans or anyone who has seen. I'll get that interview too. Documents that the defense is given, including a letter showing Glick had regular payments, including $4,000 lump sum from the FBI. She asked that the state turn over any written agreements it had with a confidential informant in the case, and the chief's assistant prosecutor said there was no written agreements and that the money was security and relocation. Glick has been staying at an undisclosed location to protect him. Even though he previously admitted to breaking AC that returned to his home often. So he broke the agreement and returned to his home often, and others have met with him. That home is where Glick recorded conversations between him and other members. They told Glick the doctor wants to kill his wife and is willing to pay $10,000 in cash. So, you know, someone gets in trouble, right? Someone gets in trouble. They suck all these other people in. He's making a bunch of money. He gets in trouble, gets caught with a bunch of drugs and guns. Hey, he's just going to turn on people and get them thrown in prison. And they have nothing to do with it. That is insane. That's where I recognize this guy. I was like, where the hell did I see that guy before? But don't worry, we're gonna dive deeper into this case. There's a lot more to go on this case. So they allegedly, they killed the guy's wife, and now a bunch of other people are sitting in prison because of it. I got some good videos for you guys. I can't wait to show you all the stuff I've been working on. Hey, so I got a video for you guys right now. I got a video of a dude saying he'll rep any MC he wants. Let's take a look.
Whatever MC that I want, because it's mine. I'll wear whatever MC that I want. I'll wear whatever MC that I want, because it's mine.
Oh, man. People have lost their minds. Another one. How do you join a motorcycle club? Let's get into it.
Join the club. Huh? How do I join the club?
How do you join the club?
How do I join the club?
Too young. No, you're not too young. No.
I'll be riding with you guys in a few years, man.
Yeah? Get rid of this and get a Harley, maybe?
What? Get rid of this and get a Harley?
Oh, man.
In a few years.
There you go. Yeah.
I always got to keep a sports bike. I get a Harley on the side.
I had a Ninja, 650 Ninja. I had a 750 Kawasaki. I went through all that when I was younger. I love going fast, yeah. And then I had a heart attack like, it's going on 5 years with this group here. I had a heart attack 5 years ago, and I ended up buying a Harley.
Nice, man.
But yeah, I had the race rockets. I love them. I love going on them. You know, it's fun. When you're younger, yeah, you're fearless. Just be careful, man. Right? Safe.
Right, thank you. Thanks, bro.
So what do you think of that? People walking up to people that are in a club, just ask them, how do I join that? So I got a bunch of interviews you guys know. This one's going to be dropping later in the week. Check it out.
I'm Brandon, man, and I'm chatting with Staxx. San Antonio, they're the baddest chapter in the nation.
You don't want to miss that one. It's really good. And I got former marijuana smuggler Brian O'Day.
Hey, I'm former marijuana smuggler Brian O'Day, and I'm chatting with Staxx.
I also have John Palermo, former associate with the Chicago outfit. I got another one with Breeze. I know you guys love the Breeze interviews. Got another one with Breeze, and we got a whole bunch of other interviews. I got one with Seth Ferrante. There's tons of interviews lined up. You guys are going to like them all. I guarantee that. I got some interviews with some actors and just a lot of great content on the way. Let's see, maybe I missed one. I'm sure I did. Oh, I got another interview with Frank Lee. His name's Frank Lee. He was charged with attempted murder. He was going to prison, and his life was a mess. He ended up changing his whole life, and he told me this story, so that one's going to be dropping soon, too. You guys are going to really like this content. And if you like it, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to be a guest on Chattin with Staxx, hit me up at the email at BillStaxx2021. We got a lot of people been reaching out. If you want to help the show, hit up Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. We can always use some donations. I put in a lot of work, so we could always use the help. Good stuff. Shout out to you, Zigzag. Thanks for watching. Maureen, how are you? Lindsay, what's going on? Thank you for sharing the links. I appreciate it. Todd, what's going on? Hope you guys all have a great day, and I hope you like this content. There's tons of things on the way. And if you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.